something been going through my mind yesterday. It's like the higher you aim, the harder you fall. And sometimes the tougher it seems to even keep going. But if you remind yourself that you set your own goals and you know that, you cannot set your goals any lower, because that would just not be true to yourself, that's kind of the only way to go. So maybe sometimes when you feel like everything is falling apart, it's just a sign that you are actually strong enough to keep going. Like, think about the things that didn't break you, right? You still standing. That's actually a sign of strength, even though it feels like everything is just falling down in that moment. So it's like you're just not built for mediocrity. And that's the reason why you fall so hard. Because aiming high requires one skill for the climb. To get up every time that you fall. Every morning, every day, every hour. Whenever that happens. Sometimes it's like there's some really good days, and then suddenly, it's been going so well. And you keep pushing. You keep exploring new fears, places you haven't been before creatively, or, it's been going so well, like you've been getting better, and then suddenly you reach this little side chapter, let's call it like that. Maybe something you haven't done before, but you was thinking, oh, I could do this, I could pull this off, and you really gave it your all, and it took 4 hours, 5 hours, a whole day or a week, and then, well, no, that wasn't it. And it feels like, damn, I've been giving this all my time, all my work over all these years, and it just doesn't get better. And it's like you fall down. It feels like, you've been going on that climb, and now you're all the way back on square one, which is not the truth. But that's what I mean by, well, the truth is you might keep falling, The higher the climb, you might keep falling, but you can always get back up and keep going. And I think that's like the craziest strength that you gotta build, so that you're not gonna be easily put off by a little bit of a setback, a little bit of a, unexpected twist of the story, twist of the day, because you really cannot foresee when growth happens and when things fall into place. So sometimes if they just don't happen the way that you want them to happen, I really struggle with keeping going at certain moments, or I'm having a really down day afterwards. But that's how I keep reminding myself, the one thing that keeps me from stopping truly is that knowing that thing, I do it because I love it, and it kind of saves my life in that sense. So it would never be something I could stop doing, even though sometimes you have moments where you absolutely hate how it went. You hate how you wasted your time, sort of, which is not true too, because now you kind of learn, you're never going to go through the same process again that you have done over maybe the past couple hours, trying to make something work, and it just didn't work out, because now you have learned that that's not the way to go, and you have certainly learned skills that you didn't know before. And so often, especially when I'm working on my own, I kind of have high expectations of myself, way too high to be logically possible to achieve, because I'm like, for example, I got plugins that I never had before, trying to do things that I never did before. So every move I make is just trying something out, and then I really don't have the ears to decide what's good or bad in certain situations, so I keep making it worse. I keep making it worse constantly, and that's kind of what happened anyway. But I just got a bit sick and tired of trying to mix music and never having achieved any mix that actually sounds like the mixes out there, the great ones. And this doesn't just go for, generally, finishing something. I'm not talking about an unfinished beat that still needs to be mastered. I'm talking about the finished product. Because what else am I supposed to be working on? What else am I supposed to be, trying to make? And that's a typical thing when you make music. I bet, if I feel like this, maybe you feel like that, maybe you relate. Most likely you will, because it seems like, dude, I've been doing this for so many years, and I'm not seeing the progress that I wanted to see. I'm not progressing in the ways that I was pushing so hard. Sometimes I feel like we can try so hard to learn this one skill, but this one skill is just not, it's not the easiest for us to learn. We are great at other things that we don't appreciate, but this one skill that we put all our energy into, damn, it's really, really hard to learn that. And I'm sorry if I messed up the white balance, but this is really about the topic. So, but one thing I realized, like, I'm having these dark moments, but that's okay. You know, sometimes just, you could feel a bit bad that things didn't go right, but then they don't last so long. Because after all, I know, like, I do it for the love, and nothing would be worse than stopping something that I love to do that kind of saves my life. So in that sense, it's like, what? Well, it is what it is. I wrote something else here. Wait. So like I said, you ain't built for mediocrity. And that's the reason you fall so hard. There's some people not aiming as high as you. They might be okay, you know, with where they at. Where they had it is much easier to get to. And suddenly they are all bored because they already got everything. They already done everything. But you are actually aiming so high. So out of the, you know, zone that you're in. It's not like there's some people around you that can just pull you up there. You got to go all the way, like, kind of by yourself. So that's an incredible type of climb you got to do. And that's so far out of mediocrity, what some people are just happy with. That the one skill that requires to get to the top is, like, to fall and to always get back up. And to never even, you know, one day you reach that level where, like, you fall, you get up, and you have not even the slightest scratch. You have nothing. Because that's just something that you already know that this will happen. You will fall again and you will get back up. You already know because you have done it so often. The goal is so high that you may never reach it, but you might as well could. Either way, there's one thing they can't say about you, and that's that you didn't try because you gave it your all on every single day, all right? So I think that's one positive thought that you can always have, no matter what goes wrong. You tried. There's people out there who would not try, and people out there miserable. People who will get really triggered by you seeing you try because that triggers in them that they're not trying yet. Now, it's not like it's all brighter on the side of doing it. It gets really tough. But I'm rooting for you because you out there trying. And especially when it comes to things like certain projects, you just push yourself through hours and hours of work, and then the final product is like... I always feel like at the beginning it goes like that, right? And then you reach certain levels of skills, things that you haven't done before, and suddenly this is going down. And you keep trying to fix it, and it just keeps going down. And the final product, you was expecting it to be here, but it's like down here. And that's what really makes you feel like you failed, you fall, you are just all the way back on square one because nothing is looking like it should. But end of the day, that's an illusion because honestly, even the last thing I did, this part was longer than it ever was before. I was so happy at first because I was like doing things that I know that I was struggling extremely with before. Because I know in general, anything that comes to engineering is not something that comes easy for me. It's extremely difficult, and I just have to like find my own workflow. And I feel like through the first like 30% of chopping and just bouncing out on different tracks and basic stuff, I've done extremely well, and I have kind of sort of a vision, and I think I could push myself to kind of make that work and to align these things really easily. That's a big goal. None of the mix is done yet, but that's a huge goal, and like I feel like I've been going like more straight like that, just easy. Like in my workflow, I got to do things in flow. I got to do things really, really fast. Otherwise, they don't happen. So I'm never even thinking. My creative workflow is just doing, okay? I'm not thinking at all. And that's maybe the problem. I don't know. But I'm just super struggling in anything mid and late stages of a mix when it comes to music, and like that always feels like a fall, because if I work on something for 6 hours, for 8 hours, and then the last 3 hours I probably really turned it to trash, that's one of the wildest things. That's one of the things where you really feel like you're failing with everything that you got. And I'm not hating on myself, I'm just seeing it realistically. Like, dude, in the last 3 hours of working on a project, I really messed it up. Like, I could just easily open a copy 3 hours before that. It probably would have been better, because sometimes doing more is not making it better, it's making it worse. Sometimes you need to know when to stop, and maybe I don't know that, but then also sometimes pushing to the very finish line helps you to even, realize like how far you gotta go and what you gotta learn. So there's no right or wrong. I'm just saying that you're not built for mediocrity, and that means you fall harder, you feel harder, like you feel more. I mean, actually, that's also true, because the higher you want to climb is like a goal that you got. So if you don't, if you feel like you're not getting closer to that goal, you can also get really emotional, and that's also fine. Because there's nothing wrong with like having certain emotions. You don't always have to be this balanced person. Like I'm also thinking about like I know people who seem to be all balanced. They seem to be. Maybe they don't share the other side of them. I don't really know. But for me, for my personality at least, I am not a totally balanced person. I'm having ups and downs sort of. But I know I can balance it out. Like in the perfect life that I could be living, I will still have ups and downs. I will still be really emotional because that's who I am, right? And if things go wrong, yeah, I get emotional. But that doesn't mean I offend people. That doesn't mean I rage out. That doesn't mean I crash out or do weird things. Like I can still, be healthy, but I will still be that emotional person. Like if you can't handle that, I'll still be weird and emotional, all right? So this is one of those things, but I feel like I'm not hurting anyone with it. And then it's like, just remind yourself, it's actually beautiful that you're aiming for something higher. You're not just okay with things how they are, You don't want mediocrity, you want greatness, okay? So whatever you do, just a reminder that sometimes it feels like everything is falling apart when it's actually falling into place. Because really God, the universe, knows when things are going to fall into place, and all you can do is let it be. And I'm proud of you for even giving it a try. I'm proud of you for knowing that you got to keep going. And end of the day, it still makes you feel better, right? You're still coming back to it every time. And that's like proof that nothing at this point can break you no more. And you really got this, okay? So I'm Jaina. I make videos and hopefully a bit more music on this channel soon. But I'm still figuring things out technically, how to make that an easy process for me, and also kind of watchable and audio quality wise, okay? Always remember that you are your own story. Nobody can take that from you. Do your thing, and nobody can tell you what not to do. Nobody sees your path like you. Nobody knows your truth like you do, so don't doubt that. You really know what you gotta do. So I'm just here to encourage you to go for that, because nothing feels worse than try to fit into footprints that aren't even your own. All right, take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Uploading every day till end of the year, by the way.